Said you docked 3 days ago?
What did I tell you? It's all a bit hazy when I think back on it.
This looks like a place. You ready to get my money? Money or what?
I see you're still in one piece. However, you never know when that could change. Note that all of your fragments went... I remember that one. That's the young socialite who broke her neck, right?
Of course, no one remembers me for the marauders I've killed or the bits I've stolen. Typical.
That claim was airtight. Our best investigators couldn't find an exclusion for that one. You can't, of course. Only Miss Fenhill can assign her beneficiaries. And she's dead. If we let every friend, relative, and acquaintance change a policy like that, people would do it all the time. Imagine the paperwork. Of course she is. The paperwork's...
I like to think she's dead in spirit, but technically, legally, and regretfully, I'm still Marilyn Fenhill.
That's impossible. By all accounts, she was an elegant and classy woman with impossibly fine bone structure.
That's gotta be the nicest thing anyone's said to me in a long while.
Oh, you mean hypothetically? Well, hypothetically, you'd access the terminal in the back room that contains data on all our policies. And you'd, theoretically, add the beneficiary of your... But you wouldn't actually do that, of course. That would be fraud. I think you have something in your eye. Perhaps I can interest you in our ocular... That's for the... What can I...
Can we talk?
Hey, Cass. Knock, knock.
Go away, White.
That's not how the game works.
You really did it. Give these payouts a few years and I'll be rolling in it. I've never been prouder to stand back and watch someone else work. I'm just glad my folks aren't gonna live off that awful story they made up. Maybe now they'll have to go back to real jobs. Maybe as line holders or warm bodies? Oh, sure. You've got to wait in line for just about anything in Byzantium, and not everyone has the time or inclination to do it themselves. As for warm bodies, some companies like to keep extra workers on site. Oh no, there's lots of paper shuffling and pen clicking that goes on. The really good ones know how to leave sticky notes in just the right places. See, this is why I had to get out of Byzantium. Not sure what comes next for me, though. Maybe you haven't noticed, but you can't even count on a bribe making it into the right pocket. What's the point of Hate to say it, but Halcyon's already there. Anyway, enough of that. You did a job for me, so here... Don't make it weird. Even you've got to be in it for the money now and then. You sure? Because my kind of friends will pick your pocket clean while they're getting hammered with you. You don't have to get all Still, maybe you've got a point. Maybe it's good to watch someone's back now and then so that one day they watch. So, you just keep the money. One of us has to... It's nothing personal. It's just the closest thing I've got to a code. Any... Some...
If you stop in the engine room, would you ask Parvati to send Sam down to the bridge?
Oh, what do you got there? Is that a scrap of Ellie's jacket in your midst, Sam? Oh, Captain. Just doing some routine maintenance on our automech friend. Don't mind me.
Battery levels are...
I swear, next time we put into Groundbreaker, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna ask her over. Oh, I'm so nervous. Having trouble focusing on my work.
Destination reached. The Groundbreaker.
You're adjusting before you pull. You... Of course I'm anticipating it. What if I shoot a friend on accident?
That's on account of your stance. You want to lean into it, embrace it, work with it. You're in control here, Parvati, not the gun. Don't let a hunk of metal jerk you around. You've been around powerful machinery all your life. You're always in control, right?
I guess that's kind of like when the filler's shooting 600 cans of near molten cell tuna down the conveyor while I'm trying to tune a belt.
Here, stand like me. Just so. Hips square, lean forward a little. Just equipment, you're just an engineer using it. Ah! Okay. We'll try again later. You'll get it. I promise. Can we talk? Hey, got a favor to ask you. Next time we're in the Monarch Wilderness, I'd like to stop in on an old friend of mine. You don't seem the type to run off and get yourself killed, and I could use the help. Well, we'll see about that. I'll be upfront with you. I hate asking for help. I hate it. Every time I give someone the opportunity to disappoint me, they seem to make it their most immediate... But for this, I need help. Logistically, because it's dangerous. Emotionally, because it's dangerous. Really? Here I was steeling myself for inevitable I used to run with a band of hunters. Friends. 6 of us. We were on Monarch when the corporations pulled out, and we helped a lot of people pick up the pieces. I haven't seen 2 of them in years, and the rest I know to be dead. I'd like to gather their effects and bury them all in the same places, like the family we once... I saw it happen. Hell, one of them was in my arms. His name was Hayes, and he's our first stop. I buried him a ways. I'll show you where he rests. He had a medallion in his effects. A long time ago, we built an encampment in one of Monarch's cave systems. Trouble is, a Mantiqueen showed up and kicked us all out. If we can find Rebecca and Anders, they'll know how to lure her out. Then, we kill the bitch, and bury everyone's medallions together.
All right. She's on her way. How do I look? Oh, my hands have finally stopped shaking. All right.
Is it time for your regular daily period of unconsciousness?
Anyhow, so I told him, Dad, I'm a big girl now. I ain't need your help. I can do it on my lonesome.
What did he say to that?
Have at it then. And he handed me his favorite wrench, the one he used for the canner. He's probably half as tall as I was.
He didn't scold you for talking back to him?
Nah, he was never like that. I always thought it was funny when I get indignant about something. Then he'd watch me do whatever it was, make sure I didn't get hurt, but he'd never interfere. I learned a lot that way.
I wish I could have met him. Anyone who helped shape you must have been a special person. I could see why Parvati seems so happy here. My father and I were often at loggerheads. He had notions of how the station should be run, and I had others. He was fond of saying, "You think Groundbreaker pays for itself? Someone's gotta cover the bills," when I chafed against his deference to the board.
Sounds like he was afraid of him.
He was, and he was right to be. Didn't mean I had to like it.
Isn't this swell? What about your mama?
Crew report. Nyoka is drunk. Surprise.
Human, you are in violation of Cleanliness Ordinance 8886. Every SAM unit comes lean.
Okay, Captain, she's gone. I'm near about vibrating. I'm so excited. So she got here, and the first thing she said was, "Oh, you smell nice, like mock apples." And I was like, "Yeah, new soap." And then she just sort of touched my arm real gentle-like and called the cut of my outfit elegant. I couldn't hear the rest on account of my heart was beating so hard. Then I led her into the kitchen. I think she about cried when she saw the spread. She stood stock still and just said, "Oh, real soft." Oh, and let me tell you, I was sweating. And then she blinked and said, "Is that dustback casserole?" I told her how we got Mr. Raymond to bake it for us, so it was double authentic. Made by a real live monarch person. Well, we talked a bunch over dinner about the things we learned just through messages, stuff we repaired, how I taught her to salvage and she taught me to build. When I brung out the sweetheart cakes, June, she got a little teary, said she had a thing she needed to say. But I stopped her because I wanted to say it first. I never felt so bold, Captain. I told her about how she made me feel. Bold like I acted, strong, smarter and kinder than I am on my lonesome. I listed all the things I liked about her. And then she pulled out a paper and read a speech. She talked about the things she admired about me, like my cleverness and my humor, and how it made her want to be more open. She was worried she wouldn't get the words out right, especially after that message about Isabel. It's sweet. Anyhow, when she wrapped up, I asked her to be my girlfriend. And Captain, she said yes! We talked about it some. I told her I wasn't sure how it'd work, how I've had a bad time of it in the past. She said we'll take it as it comes. Fix things together. Share meals, talk. Maybe she could rub my shoulders when they're sore. I said I might like that. It's all on your account, you know? Imagine if you'd never taken me out of Edgewater. I'd have never met Junlei at all. I don't know nothing about the Vickers capital P plan, but you've sure changed my life. So, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna head to my cabin and happy scream into my pillow for like an hour.
We're in orbit over Cascadia, Captain.
You ever been off Monarch, Nyoka? Before you met the captain, I mean.
Nah, I mostly just drank and hunted. Soon as you stop to dream of other things, that'll be the day something sneaks up and eats you.
Don't fret, I'm watching your back now. Anything tries to eat us, I'll give it a mighty whack on the nose.
Well, I'll be damned. You watch my back, I'll watch yours.
Wow, great work! Eyes up!
Raps. Let's clear this sulfur sun fucks out so Hayes can rest in peace. This'll be fun! And that's how it's done, Captain?
Hayes was the best self-sacrificing son of a saint I ever met. Halcyon is worse off without him. Now, if we're gonna lure the Manta Queen out, we'll need to find Rebecca and Anders. They took a UDL contract on Terra 2. We never heard from them again. Think it's time I call in a favor with Hiram. If anyone can track them down, it's him. I don't know much about it. It paid well, so they took it. They said they'd be back in a couple of weeks, and that maybe we could all use the money to get off Monarch. That was a long time ago. I should have. I really should have. But soon after they left, Hayes and the others died. And to be honest, after him, I stopped trying, because it hurt like hell to do so. Thanks. I'm still not convinced I won't come to regret it, but we've started down this path. Might as well see it through. Maybe it'll stop me screaming at night. Now come on, let's make tracks before Hiram dies of old age.
Wonder if Hiram's home. Just kidding. Guy never sets foot outside.
Only good marauder is a dead or done.
So much for peace and quiet. Would it kill the universe to cut me some slack? Yes, the one that crashed. I saw it on the security feed. A bit grainy, but what about it? The board has a blockade of gunships that patrol Monarch. Not a ton, mind you, just enough to deter the masses. I am curious as to what downed it. A faulty part wouldn't be wholly unusual. The supply for new mechanicals is tight. Ugh, now I'll never sleep. Unsolved puzzles really torque my sprockets. If you find out what happened, sell me the info. Ha! Oh, that's a good one. You're not serious, are you? Yes, well, let's see how long that lasts. Not surprising, replacement parts are rare, so the cost of even a simple repair can exceed an arm and a leg. I take it you investigated the wreckage? Don't guess the captain would have quite pegged the price of disrepair being the cost of their lives, but these things happen. A shame. I would have enjoyed investigating the mystery further. Is this bonding? Next, you'll be asking me how I got the scar on my... Most of it's underneath along my jaw, but yes, it seems to... Moral of the story is, never run... Oh, great. I love doing pro bono work.
Aw, you called us friends. I'd normally entertain your self-aggrandizing delusions, but this time it's important.
Important to you is not the same as important to me. Although I do recognize that you may have earned some goodwill during... Tug on my heartstrings, why don't you? Look, I'll do what I can.
Rebecca Hodges and Anders Wadsworth. They took a UDL contract back when Monarch went to shit, and I need to find them. I believe them to be on Terra 2.
If UDL hired 2 hunters back then, it would have been for creature clearing purposes, round 1 of their Spacer's Choice outposts. These are the coordinates for the outpost under the last UDL contract. Now scram. And, good luck. Give my regards to Phineas.
Crew members Ellie and Max are engaged in a heated discussion in the kitchen.
Hey, Max. Felix said you're acting crazy, saying we don't exist or something. He's just confused, right?
He may be confused, but that doesn't mean I'm not insane.
See, you're both a chemist of recreation, but you've been saying strange things ever since you did those drugs at the Hermits.
Like the realization that our perception of self is akin to an optical illusion?
Now I can't tell if you're just doing this to try to get to me.
We are now in orbit above Edgewater, Captain.
I'd wager this is the outpost. Rebecca! Anders! Here we go! That's the last of them. Hey, take a gander. The door's busted. Rebecca?
Huh. Rebecca taught me this once. You can jerry-rig these old locks so as they don't open anymore. But we've only ever done that if we're in a real bind.
Oh no. Oh no. What did you do?
Oh, Nyoka. I'm so sorry.
They were... That bitch! They were all set to abandon us! What would Clara say, huh? Every day she'd ask if we heard from you. And she'd have forgiven you! The kid had a soul that made the sulfur smell like roses! I'd to leave your medallions to rot with you, but Clara would want to be buried with her sister.
At least I know. Ought to have learned by now that getting one's hopes up tends to open them to being dashed across the stars. I hate to say this, but Clara died thinking her sister was still fighting to get back home. I think I'm glad. If she were still alive now, it'd break her to know the truth. Yeah, maybe. I'm used to disappointment. She was still so naive as to let it hurt her every time. Only thing left is to take these medallions home, which means figuring out how to bait the man. The most pissed off I've ever seen a queen was when a foreign species was on her soil. I'd wager the stench of a primal might do the trick. No, we need a plan. You may be a capable sort, but so are my friends. I ain't making that mistake twice. I've never had the pleasure of hunting primals, but I hear they're all over Scylla. Let's tear a few apart, shall we? I'm sure they've...
Captain, Felix and the Vicar are arguing again.
You ain't making a lick of sense, Max. Of course I got a self. I'm me, Felix Millstone.
No, that is just a story you've been building.
Destination reached. Scylla. Take someone to watch your back, please.
Area sweep now.
This'll be quick. Got him.
That queen ain't gonna go down easy. I can't wait. What's up? What's with the... You want to know something? I didn't. I was born into security detail. And when the corporations abandoned this place, I stayed. I mean, I wasn't sent off to school like I should have been. I was born here, and my parents kept me. Raised under the monarch sky. Been breathing sulfur since I knew how to smell it. This place is all I know. Yeah, at first we all thought it was about damn time. I don't know if you've noticed, but Monarch ain't exactly easy on the spirit. Then it got uglier than a rap. In fairness, there wasn't a right answer. There wasn't a protocol for get the hell off this planet. Or if there was, nobody followed it. Everything that could have gone wrong did. Townships were promised evac shuttles that never came. Overland routes were attacked by supplies went missing. Our equipment started corroding on account of the sulfur in the air. I don't know, but at least we'd have money to back us up. Supply shipments. Food that we don't have to hunt down. Look at MSI. They're getting along fine. I have to think the Corps could have made it work if they'd reprioritized. Don't be naive, Captain. We'd still be on Earth if the corporations hadn't ponied up to the bits to get us out here. Progress requires structure. Nobody's gonna build a sewer pipe or a road if they don't got a boss telling them to. Yeah, well, I ain't. No matter how many times I find a spot in the woods to do my business, I still miss toilets. What's up? I took a job once to clear out a rap nest. Partnered up with a fellow out of Fallbrook who called himself Dirty. Bit on the shorter side. Had a penchant for cards. Thing is, he introduces himself and the man is immaculate. Clean. He had a flowery presence to him. A pleasantness that didn't invade your space. He was just there and you were glad for it. I wouldn't believe it myself had I not met the man. But when we got to the nest, I found out firsthand. Dirty Don killed those Raptidons with his bare hands. His bare fucking hands, Captain. He was a whirlwind of grotesque primal fury. In the end, he stood drenched in blood over the entrails of a dozen raps. If he had a scratch on him, I wouldn't have been able to tell. It was glorious. Day came when he tried to take on a Mantiqueen. Got himself eaten one limb at a time. Wonder if he tasted like soap. Oh well, live and learn. No matter how tough you are, if you're gonna fight something bigger than you, bring... What's up? Outstanding. These ought to be enough. Look, there's an old base I used to call home. I can get us in the door, but we'll have to shoot our way through the Queen's brood to get to the center. Password to... Hayes' idea. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal, Nyoka. Charon. He said it was some old myth. Something about death and all the things we killed. Rest of us just thought it sounded cool, so here we are. It's an old cave system we tried to turn into an encampment. You'll see when we get there. Fucking right we are. Hey, what's up? Oh,
We're in orbit over Cascadia, Captain.
So you keep Monarch safe, huh? That's real honorable work, Mr. Yunka.
Oh, no. Monarch ain't safe, even with me around. I've just got intimate knowledge of its dangers and an abundance of fortitude. Folks hire me because I know what you can shoot and what you ought to run from. That's a mistake you only get to make once.
You guys all right?
They'll be feeding the worm.
You want to...
Don't mess.
Making it look easy.
Great work.
Well, I thought I'd be angry. I thought I'd storm in here in a rage and exterminate all these bugs and everything would be... But I ain't. I'm mostly just... The first night Hayes and I spent in here, we knew it was home. It's safe. It's got a nice chill to it. But mostly, it doesn't stink. Monarch folks often joke about it. Not because of the smell or the grittiness it leaves in your throat. Not because of the headaches or the coughing. It's because there's no escaping it. It's life here, and there ain't anything you can do about it. But here, somehow the sulfur never made it. The nights we spent in here felt like vacations. So we started building. We hauled in steel, hired sublight folk to help. That's how we met Anders and Opal. They stuck around after our contract was up. Opal liked camping. Anders liked chasing her tail. 4 of us for a while, scraping together what bits we could to build our home. Then came Rebecca, a sawbones out of the Cascadia survivors, who took a kindness to Hayes. And Clara, her little sister. I'll admit I wasn't keen on taking her on it. Believe me, I had my complaints. She had a head for numbers, helped us trade hides for food and materials, negotiated contracts. Turned out to be mighty useful. Clara, Hayes, Anders, Rebecca, Opal, and me. 6. Me too, Captain. But I'm starting to think that... Now let's get to shooting before I get all sent up.
Incoming, Captain!
Everyone all right?
I wish these were more auspicious circumstances, but at least we're all here. This bringing them together, burying them. That makes it stupid. By all accounts, we should have left well enough alone, but that also makes it right. You mind if we rest a spell before we head out? I'd like to bury Opal and Clara proper. What? Why? Huh. That ain't a bad point. All right, Captain. Thanks. You know, that said, you ain't been eating. So how... Outstanding.
Something you need?
That's the last of it.
Some crew members are causing a disturbance on the ship.
Good to see.
Dead center. Next round's on you.
The captain's coming. Put your gun away. Act casual.
Oh, yes. This'll about do. That's a mighty clean weapon. Yep. Ain't no call for a closer inspection by anybody.
Hey, Cap. Oh, that's just Frida. She's the first Rapt I ever killed. I had her preserved. It had been when I was a kid, so something on the order of 20 years. My parents were very proud. Me too, to be honest. I'd have thought she'd have started rotting years ago. Counting my blessings. Her. And of course, she's a great conversationalist. Never argues, never judges.
Something on your... Yeah, so this is my hidey spot now. I was looking for a place that was quiet. I figured the kitchen would be louder than the hold, so... cozy like it. Oh, you mean Sam? He's just the sweetest, ain't he? A real charmer, my... Nah, but I've been thinking on one. Gotta get to know him better, I think. Maybe. It ain't nice to give folks a nickname. Of course, that don't stop Felix.
We are now in orbit above Byzantium, Captain.